Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to one more episode. And today, before we start, I want to invite you to just slow down a bit, take a few deep breaths, and leave the pressure of the world aside, the fastness of it, right? Because nowadays we always want everything fast. And today I want to talk to that part of you that feels the fear and the doubts about every single step that you want to make in life. So I want to share with you that it's possible to not live with fear and doubt, and that it's possible to transform it, because there is something very hidden in there that can help us in life and transform your life in a very beautiful way. And that's why I'm here to share with you today. Welcome to a Soul Talk, a place where if you're looking for clarity in life and your spiritual journey, this is your place. And let's start. So growing up, I was a very afraid little boy, and especially because I grew up in a household where fear of death and fear of getting sick was very present, and that dictated many of my choices in life. And I was always waiting for something to get me, that something was around the corner to get me, and when I would get sick, that would be the end, right? That was the worst case scenarios would get into my mind, and I would start believing and fearing all of that. But growing up with those kind of fear, it was not just present on the fear of getting sick. It would start dictating my choices and my life and every single step on the way. However, that was what brought me in my spiritual journey too, because I started questioning every single thing, and growing up with a lot of fears, insecurities and doubts, to the point where I would fear life itself. That got me where I started questioning every single thing. But I would question because there was a feeling present inside myself, always telling me that it was possible to live without fear and doubts and live a very happy life. But around us, everybody and the world is telling us that's not possible, that fear, for example, is the way, is the survival kit that we have to carry all over. But for me, there was something inside of me saying, no, this is not the only way. There is a beautiful way. So with that, I started my searches in life, and I started searching through spirituality. That's when years later, I came across one teaching that totally changed my life. Again, people around us, most of the time, because they don't try to solve or they don't question what they're living, they project onto others, and we start believing that that is the true reality. Meaning that people, they are afraid and they try to pass us their fears or something that they're living, but because they don't believe that it's possible for themselves. But that doesn't mean because they didn't find a way, it doesn't mean that you can't find a way or you can't change it. So it's very important for us to keep that in mind, because what I'm about to share with you, it's something that worked for me and that was possible, that changed my life completely. Okay, so back to the teaching, fear and doubts are indicators of life lessons on our way, meaning that our soul chose some life lessons in this life to get some wisdom from, and then we could move on and learn more about ourselves. So every single fear and doubt that you have in life, those are not something that they're always going to exist or they're always going to be there, because it's not like that. It's there because fear and doubts are your best masters. They are your best teachers. You have to learn how not to handle them, not to change them, but how to make friends with them, because they have something very important about you to teach you. What do I mean by that? For example, let's say that you're looking for a job and you fear that you're not going to get the job, or you doubt if you have enough abilities to get that job. But most people, they would fear because it's something new, it's a new job. The case here is you fear the job or doubt that you can get the job because you yourself don't trust your abilities. You're insecure about your own abilities to perform that job. Again, you're not here to change your fear. You're here to listen. The same way that if a friend that's really afraid of something comes to you asking for help or asking for a talk, you're gonna listen first. That's the same approach that we have to have with fear and doubts. Just sit with them and ask them, what do you have to tell me about myself? The best way that I like is, why do I feel this fear about this situation or these circumstances? Or why do I feel this doubt about getting a new job? And learn how to listen to the fear and to your doubt, because they have something very, very important to teach you about yourself. With that, you're gonna get wisdom from it. And next time that it happens, what it comes up, it's not gonna be the fear or the doubt anymore. It's the wisdom that you have applied or that you have learned, that you can apply it again, because that's how life is, and life can be transformed. For example, if you remember a certain time where you were very insecure, but before we understand that we are insecure about something, we fear getting that thing. And when we fear getting that thing, what it happens is, most of the time we start reacting to the fear, and we react to the story that we create in our own mind. And it's important that when you start talking to the fear and make friends with the fear and the doubt, is that the fear is always going to reveal a limiting belief that you believe about yourself. Most of the time, it's just a belief that you hold about yourself. And the fear is just knocking on your door and say, my friend, this is what you believe about yourself. And you can change that. If you believe the opposite way, for example, or if you remember a moment in life where you were secure, or you have trust in your abilities, that's when you can get that energy to apply where the fear is indicating. So let's say you have 3 abilities, but you lack a 4th one, and you know that you have the basics of this ability, but you need to study a bit more. What happens is, instead of you focusing on what you don't have it, because you start believing that you're not good enough, and with that comes tons of self-beliefs that you gather through your life, because we don't question the fear and the doubt. That's what happened. We start believing in a story that we are telling ourselves, that story is true, but it's just a distorted belief. And the fear is just your best friend, indicating, hey, come on, you can listen to what I have to tell you about you. And once you learn how to listen, you can journal about it, just write down why you feel certain fears about certain circumstances, or why you feel that doubt about that new choice you want to make, or about that change that you want to make in your life. I advise you to not just write it down and go straight trying to read very fast. No, just leave it there for at least 7 days. And then you can review it later. You can read it again later. Another way that you can do it is recording a video, for example, and talking to yourself, or sending audios to yourself about the way that you perceive life or the fear that you have in life. And that can help you to change your fear and doubts, because that is just lack of understanding about yourself. There is nothing to be afraid, because most of the time we also fear the fear in itself without even knowing what is in there. So instead of just trying to sit and understand, we react. So that's why my invitation at the beginning of this video was just to breathe a bit. Let's just pause for a second. And that's what you can do. Instead of reacting, just pause for a second. Make friends with fear and the doubts, because they are the best teachers to teach you about yourself, not me, not anybody else. So before we finish, let's do something interesting. Let's just pull your cards and see what your fear and doubts are trying to tell you, and let's see what's going to come up. So the way that I like to open cards is just like how I feel in the moment. I don't like to leave anything certain or which position is what. I like the cards to talk to me. I like the cards to mirror what the energy wants to talk about it. And let's see what is going to come out. So I have the Queen of Wands in here. I have the Six of Cups in here, and I forgot the name of this one, but I will put it here. Because these cards are in Portuguese. So what I feel here is that it's like when you're trying to make a choice and a kind of uncertainty that I feel here. It's like if you are afraid of making friends with yourself, because that can change who you are. And we have to be very careful to what we believe about changing who we are, because it's time for you to change your beliefs because it doesn't suit your reality anymore. And that's a very important step. So it's almost if your soul is trying to remember you that you have the power to control more some aspects of your life, but not control in a way that you have to secure and get tight, but trust more. You're in the right path to start changing and question your life, question your fears, question your doubts. But instead of reacting to some choices that you're trying to make and some change that you're trying to make, it's time for you to understand your actions from the past, why you took it, what they're trying to teach you about yourself. As I said, take advantage of the energy that is there to change and that's very determined to change, because that's your time. To me, it's just an acknowledgement that you're at the right moment at the right time, right here, right now. And that came just to help you, for example, to see it's your time and that your soul wants you to start understanding your fears and your doubts, because you need to move on from that part of your life. That's your time. That's your turn, and don't try to run away from it, because the energy is quite very strong, calling you to start changing and understanding why you're still carrying certain kind of fears and doubts. So that's it. Remember, you're not here alone, and thank you for being here with me. If this has touched your soul at least, please share, comment, or share with someone that you know that would benefit of this message here. And thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.